You dear. Morning there, Moab. How do?
Yeah, and phone calls. But I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. No worries, man. No worries. Hmm. So, hey, I quickly want to go over something before we got a bunch of people jump in. Obviously, the Iranians did not listen to Trump. It sounds like they had an incident there in the Straits of Hormuz yesterday. Drove the price of oil back up over $91 this morning. But I don't think the Iranians are using their head. Sounds pretty they poked the bear, and I just don't understand that. Did you see the post that was put out by the Iranian Ayatollah? He says, I don't care what it takes as far as putting Iranians and any resources in front of to remain in power. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. They're going to do anything to the end to stay in power. So I mean, like, I can tell you, well, you know, here's me a bit. I'm still like point where why are we paying for this? The Americans are going to, they're the ones putting the bill here again.
Julie, can you hear Marlon? Is it just me or is it in and out? I'm not sure.
How,
Maybe my comms.
yeah. How about you, Julie? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. I'm just, this crappy weather. It's like, mild temperatures, and then it's going to be freezing in a couple of hours. It's going to be back down to the 30s up here, and we probably going to get snow later. It's like Mother
So are
Nature
we.
doesn't know what to do.
It was 82 here yesterday, and yes, we're going for snow this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little too warm for this time of year, and that's I'm okay with it getting cold, but can we split the difference just a little bit? We finally just got rid of all of our snow up here, and it's just been so windy and rainy and it's crazy. So I was
Yeah.
just going to text you if you want. I can help out as well today.
Awesome.
Just hanging out. Yeah.
Julie, when I flew in that airport the other day in Connecticut, Hartford, I thought I was in Alaska. I never seen anything like that in my life. Man, that captain he looked at me. I looked at. What in the heck have we just done? That plane's halfway covered. What is this?
Yeah, it was bad here for. I didn't think the snow was going to melt. I can tell you, Marlon probably feels the same way. I didn't think it was going to melt till April. I'd be going to Key West, and it was still going to have snow on the ground. But then we got these couple of days that were unusually warm. Like they were. It actually got warm too quickly, and even the last couple of nights sleeping was really uncomfortable because you're kind of just opening your windows, but you still need like a little fan. It was just you know craziness. But
it kind of threw me right back in. If you leave your water out, the sun heats it up, and I'm drinking bath water. It was too quick, right? I mean, it was like 82 or 83 here yesterday.
oh yeah, much too quick, much too quick.
So, hey, I do see, Iran not abiding, going to put every resource in front of keeping power. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. That spooks me, and that's unfortunate, because hey, he's gonna hit back because I think they hit one tanker. I don't know what kind of damage is sustained. But basically, it's holding the rest of the fleet up. No, everybody's scared to go through there.
Well, I just saw an article too, though, that the new leader that they are announcing as the new leader apparently is in a coma and lost one leg. So I don't know that they have anybody really. I think they might just be saying that. But if you saw Dan Scavino was putting out post after post last night, it was like it was like a treat for the Anons because they really were digging into that and they were really good about it. But yeah, it was quite interesting if you go look back at Dan Scavino's posts.
But he's making a speech.
Cardboard cutout is?
What you mean, Savino here? I saw the post. I think it was a couple of B2s in there. And hey, before we go much further, Julie, we're in that South Jersey coalition, Michael's group, and there was a couple of people that were adding in yesterday with the South Jersey group, and they were talking about insurance and a couple other things, but also what was talked about was the air traffic. I'm right on the flight path for Dover, whether they're coming out of McGuire or wherever they're coming out of. I always get flight pattern over my house. We had Apaches go over yesterday, regular helicopters. We had a couple of C-130s that went over, and that traffic really hasn't been. It's been very light. So yesterday, the Apaches came over. You could see them, but yeah, for some reason it just feels like it got ramped up a little bit. So I haven't seen that traffic. Me and my wife said, we were talking about the same thing. It's been kind of light, but adding in, there was other people in South Jersey that saw the same thing I did.
Yeah, we don't have up there, but I'll tell you something. The blasting at Picatinny, woo! I tell you, it's been really ramped up. I mean, I think it's every Wednesdays. There's an alert if you want to. You can get it on your Facebook. It'll tell you when there's going to be blasting. But I feel like they're blasting all the time. But I guess it's only on Wednesdays that they are practicing their blasting and everything. Because I told you, at first I thought that was, they were when they were putting the pipe in the ground for the natural gas hookups in on our street. Well, not our street, but like up more on Howard Boulevard. And my husband's like, we don't blast at all. I'm like, oh, that's not you. He goes, no, that's Picatinny. I'm like, oh, it's like crazy. So
if when you get into Central Jersey, and I told this story before, where McGuire Air Force Base isn't far. It's on 539 there, outside of Chatsworth, and they have a range set up there. And this is like north of 539. I think it's east of Route 70. So if you were taking Route 70 out to Lakehurst or Lake Ord or whatever, there is a course set up there. And when I tell you how immense it really is, it's gigantic, and it's for the warthogs and everything else, and they do these training patterns there. We were doing a job in Barnegat, which is not far the way the crow flies, and you can hear them. You can hear them shooting the Gatling gun, and all you would hear is it's like a vibration, and you could feel it. I mean, we were miles away. I just thought it was extraordinary. One day I actually got lost inside of that compound. How I got in there, I have no idea. But it was miles and miles and miles. And finally, some guy had to let me out of a gate on the road. I don't even know how I got in there.
Well, if you
wow.
hear that buzz, that means you're still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well, it's really those. It's surprising you got in because, like, even like when my husband, so he works for the gas company and he's got to check. There is piping up in Picatinny Arsenal where he's got to check. He has to have he has a special badge and clearance, but he's got to call like 2 days ahead of time and he's got to make an appointment. He just can't go there like when he's doing his rounds of checking all his piping that he's got to check for the corrosion and go, oh, I want to come in now today. They're like, yeah, no, you have to, like, he has to call, make an appointment and then go in. So he always saves that for the end of the month because they're very, very tightly locked up over there.
So, we get that traffic out of McGuire. We get the traffic out of Atlantic City Airport, too. And when she's blowing out of the west, they take off towards my house. We can hear them take off. I haven't heard much traffic out of Atlantic City, but the heightened traffic here, not that I'm saying, hey, something's going on, but maybe it's back to normal, because for years, I mean, we would get traffic over our house all the time. C-130s, McGuire, Dover's down there. So we're right on the flight plan. So it was just very strange to hear other people in South Jersey come out and say the same thing.
Yeah, my one friend, they're in the flight pattern for Newark Airport, and they always see Trump when he's coming in. They see Air Force One, and then they also when he's flying in on his own plane, like when he was a just a normal citizen. When he was flying in on his Trump plane, he was flying into Morristown Airport, and that's also on the flight, or flying into Newark. Not at Morristown Airport. I take that back. Just into Newark, but they were on that flight pattern because Bedminster's right by Morristown, so that area.
Well, hey, let's say good morning to Truth Square. Truth wins, man. How you doing? It's Thursday. I thought it was Friday there for a minute, but I'm thankful. I need today and tomorrow. Good to see you, man. What's happening?
Not much. Is it Thursday, really? I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, dude.
All right. Yeah, if you say so.
They tick by, don't they? They tick by, man.
I can't keep track anymore, man. Who gives a damn anyway? But didn't we just have another time zone thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sunday.
We did. Okay.
Your clocks went
So-
back, so you better be on the right time.
No, isn't it spring forward? It's spring
Yeah.
forward.
I mean, they went forward. I apologize.
I'm kind of bewildered. I thought that we were just going to stay on standard daylight. No, I'm sorry, just standard. Right. So if we are 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean, right? Greenwich London or Greenwich UK is really like, hey, where they start the clock, right? So you hear this talk of, hey, we're 5 hours offset at Greenwich Mean. That's basically what that means. But during standard time, we're only 5 hours, but when we're daylight savings, we're 6 hours. I thought the Trump administration, I heard a lot of talk about leaving it for standard time all through the summer. I wish that would have happened.
Well, it'd be nice. Stop messing with time. It's almost like, mankind's like, hey, I've got control over time. No, you don't. It doesn't even actually exist. But anyway, yeah, I can't remember any of these time crap. But it would be nice. I think Arizona, and isn't there a East Coast state that refuses to?
Well, I think Maryland passed it, but because New Jersey, North Carolina, all the East Coast areas, they didn't go for it. They can't change it, so they have to still go on the time change. They passed it in their in their legislation, but the other states that surrounding it have not, and the East Coast has, everybody else on the East Coast haven't passed that, so they can't. I guess they can't change.
So when June, I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was going to say, and don't ask somebody in Tennessee, because Tennessee has two time zones in the state. So
well, there's a lot of states that don't recognize it, right? There's some areas in Indiana that they don't recognize the time change. But I was kind of, I was per se looking forward to it. And I think where the problem really lies is in the wintertime. And December 21st is obviously the shortest daytime for the Northern Hemisphere, right? Well, June 21st is the most. In June, at that time of the year, it starts cracking at about 20 after 4, right? But if we were on standard time, it would be breaking light at 3:20 instead of 4:20. Now, I think where they had the problem is during the wintertime, they don't want to have younger kids waiting for school buses in the dark. That's basically why they've kind of kept it on here, because if we stayed on standard time, it would not get light here until about 8 o'clock in the dead of winter. So, I thought it was supposed to be worked out where we weren't going to change again. But that it just so happened that day. I said it to my wife. I said, "Hey, what about daylight savings time?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't know." And the next morning, it was awful dark at 7 o'clock. So something happened.
Well, if it's dark in the morning waiting for the school bus, suck it up, Buttercup. Like, come on, man. We're gonna, try to pamper all these little children. Where do you think the problem lies? Now we can blame it on standard time,
Right, right.
the time change.
So, look, I don't think the farmers need it anymore. It would have been really, I just wanted to experience a time where, hey, man, the sun's coming up at 28 or 3 in the morning. That's when you're living and dying by the moon phase and the sunlight, it makes it different.
Well, I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about. So if I just derailed everything, my apologies, man.
No, no.
No, not at all, not at all.
Yeah, we didn't get started yet.
But I do want to talk about just a little bit about New Jersey because I thought this was quite entertaining. So Dawn Fantasia, one of our legislators, and she's from up in my area, and so she's against the gun because there's a small minority in the legislation. So when Cheryl, Mikey Cheryl, Shirley had her,
Shirley, I call her Shirley.
yeah. Well, I think I think they said in the first 5 minutes of her speech, I think was something like that, something crazy like 10 times did she mention Trump's name, that she blamed all the problems on New Jersey on him, of course. All right, so that was one thing. But then she had one of her guests was a union worker that was working for the that new expansion that they're going to be doing from New York to New Jersey kind of thing. And he's a union worker and he's paying for his kids to go to college. And this and that her winning this court battle and getting the money so that they can continue this project. He doesn't even live in New Jersey. He lives in Pennsylvania because he can't afford to live in New Jersey. Like, of all people you're gonna pick, don't you think you maybe should have done a little background check before you pick that person? He doesn't even live in New Jersey because he can't afford to live in New Jersey. But she's going to blame Trump for everything that's going wrong in New Jersey. I just thought that was quite comical. I put it down in the purple bubble.
It's their administration. Shirley goes up there and says, "Hey, we're going to freeze the utility prices," and complain that this it's too high. Well, it's your administration that let this happen. You let the green energy credits influence what's going on our state legislature. That's basically what they did.
Plants.
Right, exactly. And hey, I want to see those coal plants get fired back up. I want to see the coal production, really ramp up in the western part of Pennsylvania and West Virginia and Ohio. These people need to go back to work. So, again, I always reference Oliver Anthony when he talked about miners, not just miners on a desert island somewhere. Yeah, Moab.
Moab.
Miners, not miners.
Miners. You guys.
God.
Come on.
Well,
Yeah, I'm having
Tim knows what I'm
there you
referring
go.
normal connection issues.
You're good now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We
It's
can hear
always,
you.
yeah, we can hear you good, man. You're good now.
Well, before we go on,
no.
Marlon, can everybody just please go down to that purple bubble, like and reshare the space? I would really appreciate that. And we are being streamed live on Rumble and YouTube. If you guys could go over to those sites as well, American X Live, it's pretty easy. I think I'm sure Mama put it down in the purple bubble, and go over there and give it a thumbs up and share it out. And let's get that to the top of the algorithm as well. I would appreciate that. And I guess Moab dropped. Is he coming back up? There he is.
Go ahead,
Okay.
brother.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, put the truth in the co-host for now, Marlon. I'm having some issues.
Yeah,
I
no
don't know
worries.
what the heck's going on, but he does better anyway. Uh, so I don't know. I'm gonna share a post down in the Purple Pill, but the main thing I want to point out is this Save America Act. Uh, this Rhino, uh, lady out of Alaska now is not in support. Watching John Thune, real close to see what he's. Doesn't seem like he wants to bring it to a floor for discussion. Uh, so that's what's important to me, folks, right now. I'm not
Hey, and real
trying to
quick, while
go
you're up
ahead.
here, why don't you explain the percentage of the Republicans that went out and voted in Mississippi?
13%.
Think about that.
I don't want to think
Well,
about it.
no, his
Try not to think about it. And that's appreciate you mentioning it. That's my point. Instead of all this other drama that we got going on this app and other places, we need to focus on what really matters, and that's the lead up to the midterms. Just my opinion. I could be wrong, but um, we've got a lot of experts lately. Uh, war experts, shipping experts. I'm hoping to have one come on later, an actual shipping expert. But we'll see. I've got a couple of people running for office that I'm going to try to bring into the space here. One gentleman out of Miami. Uh, but we need to rally behind these Republicans and these conservatives running to try to save our leadership role in both houses with the coming up midterms. That's my direction. Uh, like I said Tuesday, if you don't vote, I don't really want to hear anything you got to say. Uh, that's that's kind of where I'm at, Marlon.
There's a lot of experts out there telling you, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Think about it this way, the Trump administration, they're against this, and look at all the evidence that Israel and our, yeah, dude, we know, we understand. You talk about midterms coming up, there's a lot of propaganda against it, and they started right away as soon as 2025 was over. I've been hearing this. Oh my God, we're going to lose the midterm. I think we got to do exactly what we talked about yesterday. I think we have to, number one, look at the amount of the 13% that actually voted for Republican side, strengthen the vote from there, contacting the 55 and older clubs, church groups, women's groups, whatever, because when you're going to find out that those are the people that made up a large percentage of that 13%. We have to motivate people and really capture the ones that do want to do something about it. And I would say that group there, that 55 and older, they're poised. They just need some leadership to do it. So we can make some of those outreaches. I think it would help out for everyone.
Yeah, and we have that Linda, New Jersey Patriot. She's putting out a lot, and she was showing how she's putting letters and email, and she put out same thing that you did, Moab. The numbers to call Thune's office, the email addresses you can email her, right? And that's what I said the same thing. We all need to get on the make our voices be heard. We have to let these people know. And I got what somebody replied to me that Thune doesn't care what you think. Writing and calling him plays right into his hands. He's simply running out the clock. It'd be more effective to pressure GOP senators to remove Thune from his leadership program. And I said, I agree, but I also feel we need to exercise our voices. We need to get out there and we need to let them know that we are aware of what's going on. We see what's going on and we're going to say what's going on because you know what? They work for us and they need to be reminded of that. And we've let it go for so long that they don't know. They don't think that they work for us. They think it's the other way around. So, I think that both things can happen. I think we need to get the voters out, just like you were saying, Marlon. We need to get these. This has got to be a better number than 13%. But we also need to exercise our voices, and you can do that. You can call, you can write, you can put it in a post. You can do whatever you have to do and tag their names in it because somebody's going to see it. Might not be them, might be their staffers, but hey, it's going to get out there.
Well, go ahead, Jeff. You want to jump in there, and then the Truth and Julie. I got to step away, and then I'll be right back.
No problem.
Co-host yet, Marlon, so step away all you want.
All right, there we go.
I think that's pretty funny, Julie. You just said that Moab dropped. That made me chuckle this morning. And yeah, I see you got 3 top boat mates here. You got the captain, Captain Truth, and then you got Marlon, the top fish. And Truth, he'll put you back together on the boat. He's the medic. And I just listening to the European space and talk about the Iranian, the war in Iran and just all the nonsense. And it occurred to me that Barack Obama's Muslim Brotherhood, and he instituted a lot of pain and suffering into that equation when he did the cash deal with the Supreme Ayatollah and the IRGC. I reminded them of that, and the other topic was how the Jews this and the Jews that. But I don't think that the Muslims that took over Ireland, like David, where he's at, or the Muslims that took over Europe, is that the Jews' fault? Yeah, I've heard it all this morning, but it's good to see everybody, and thanks for letting me up, Marlon. I appreciate y'all.
That was me, Jeff. I let you up. Only kidding. Yeah, no, it's important, and there's a lot of things going on. I mean, a lot of rumors, right? I was just saying before you came in, I saw an article where saying that he's in supposedly this new Ayatollah that they've named, the son, is in a coma with only one leg. I don't know what's true or not. I mean, I'd have to research that further. But that's one thing I saw this morning, and then Dan Scavino putting out the post he was putting out last night, the one with the conveyor belt with all the cardboard cutouts of him, of this Ayatollah. Like they're just going to keep naming people. But I don't, we haven't seen the son yet. There's just been talk that he's been named, but he hasn't come out, right? He hasn't come out in public yet.
Well, does anybody notice that bill that SB 749 out of Virginia that with the super extensive gun ban? Did y'all notice that yesterday?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that decision's no way that's going to get passed. It can't be. Can't.
Well, the one that would pass it in the governor's office is hard, crazy, loony lefty that doesn't like weapons. So I would assume it might pass, even though it's unconstitutional and it'll get overridden. But still, it's just this is the kind of nonsense that we're, if we don't go out and vote. What was it? 13%? He said 11%.
13%. Yeah.
Good Lord. So then you'll get these idiots elected in office that aren't even from this damn country, and changing everything, changing the face of America. It's disgusting.
Yeah. We have one right here in New Jersey too. I mean, her roommate. And so, yeah, I think it's almost like there was a converted plan here. With all these people being installed, whether voting was low or not, like I said, I know that they're saying the numbers were dismal for Republicans coming out to vote, but like I said, we in our county, we have always voted Republican. This is a red county here, and this year it went blue. But everybody that I'm talking to within the county, and I talk to a lot of people, just whether it's in the food store, whether it's you strike up conversations at work or at people that you're hanging out with, and everybody voted for Chitterelli. Like they all voted for Republican, and they went out and voted, and they were like blown away that our county flipped blue. It just so I think that I think there was both that happened in this state. I think that there really was both. I think there was a low turnout maybe, but I also think that there was some kind of shenanigans that went on. So let's just put it that way, because if God forbid I say, the C word, they're gonna, somebody's gonna come after me, tell me that there was no cheating.
Does anybody else have mics, by the way, besides you, man?
Moab does again.
I see 10 in here. Every mic, I see Apple, Lisa Carol, Mama, all of our regulars.
It's a little early yet, Truth. They're just waking up and rubbing the sand out of their eyes. So they'll come up. They'll come up when we got something good going on here.
Sand or snow?
Sand. Well, say depending on where you live, Moab. So it could be sand or snow. It could be both.
I'm gonna check see if this guest I got's coming at 1100, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I do.
Sounds good.
Dodger.
Yep. So what else is going
you
on?
were,
Give me two more minutes, and I'll be back.
yes.
We got it. We got it.
Hey, Moab, you were, I'm assuming enlisted. Were you a bosun's mate, machinist mate? What was your rate?
Come on, you serious? I was a bosun mate, sir. It's the only rate.
That's right. So can you still splice double braided nylon?
I can do inner core and all that, Bubba. I'm still doing it actually. I'm on a 80-ton 5100 tractor tug, and we
Nice.
splice all the time. Especially if we pull over 80 tons and that shock line breaks. Guess who has to fix it? This guy.
Yeah. I got my 110, but then I let that go years ago. When I got out. But the bosun's mate as well.
Yeah, I could sense it. We're both kind of similar. We'll just yeah, I've got a master towing unlimited 500 ton. Been
Nice.
doing it for 25 years. And that's according to my wife, Julie. That's why I'm so mean, because I'll come home and she says, I'm not one of your deck crew. Don't talk to me like that. But anyway.
Yeah, I was a motor lifeboat coxswain when I was in.
Well,
You might be bringing home the bacon, but somebody's got to cook it. You better watch it there, Moab.
I get my coxswain pin was with the biggest accomplishment when I was in.
Miss Gypsy's got a mic. She's coming on up.
Good morning. How are y'all doing this morning? I had to come up and talk. Listening to what you said.
Here comes trouble, Truth. Here comes trouble. Hey, honey.
That's what I tell my husband. You better hang that captain's hat right up there before you walk in that door. I'm not one of your deck crew. I was laughing. But he's getting grumpier as we age too. But you know what I was thinking? I kind of am too. I'm getting grumpier as I go. Good morning, Marlon, Truth, Julie, everybody. Great to see y'all.
Good morning, Gypsy. And Marlon just stepped away. He should be back any minute. And we're just kind of trying to get people up here now. So I see Tim Foyle's got his hand up, and just kind of filling some space up until he gets back here.
I didn't know if Webb knew that Miss Gypsy's husband does the same line of work.
I do.
You know. Just
Those
when he
boat
comes to 'em.
captains. Those boat captains, they are definitely a breed. I didn't know you were on the boats, Truth.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Yep, that's what I did, and I love it. Still got my original bosun's knife that I got when I got in. Anyway, hey, 10, what's up, buddy?
Comment on you're talking about that's in Virginia about the gun ban. I saw that, and I'm like, why are we following these people? If it passes, I'll be straight up honest. Why follow that law? We know it's repugnant. We know it's not legal. And for the gun or firearm dealerships, I can hear them now say, well, they'll take away our license. I'll be straight up honest with them. They're going to take it away anyway. That's their goal. They want to disarm us. Why are we following them? I'm to the point. I'm tired of acting like nothing's wrong when everything is wrong. I'm tired of acting like I'm supposed to have a smile on my face, hunky dory, not a care in the world, when I'm literally watching every day people not from this country making constant threats toward us. Now, I know what they'll do to me. Let's put it this way. I heard the song that I believe I can fly, I can believe I can touch the sky. I sure don't want to live it. I know what they'll do to the women and children too, and our men as well. But yeah, we play along and go along because I know we're supposed to be a law and order society, but at this point, we know they're using our law against us. We know that they're using our rules and our constitution against us. Why are we playing along with these people?
You know what, Tim Foyle? You know what? They want to see how far they can push the envelope. They did this with COVID. Look how many people became compliant onto what happened during COVID. Look what people were doing with their 6 feet of social distancing, the masking, the shots. I mean, everybody was lined up like cattle. So they that was almost like a test run. So now they're going to see how compliant people are going to be with this without realizing that they can't, that this is so unconstitutional and that this can't be done. But how many people will turn in their guns, will turn in their licenses for guns before they find out that they didn't have to do that? You know what I'm saying? It's scary actually how many people don't know what this country is about and what the Constitution is about and our rights and how they are given to us and how they can never be taken away from us. But people are compliant. They're like, oh well, this is our governor and she signed this into law. It's got to be true. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just going to be dependent on whether you know your history or not. And if you don't know your history or you don't know how, or you're not educated on that kind of stuff, you're going to just hand things over, right? It's sad.
Well, I know Moab's got his hand up, and he can't get more straightforward than the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I don't know how else he can try to finagle that. It's pretty damn clear. So go ahead, Moab.
No, oh man, you gotta stop doing that. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's right there for you to read. And 10, I hear you, but I'm not scared of any of these people. Um, you know, good luck with that. I'm gonna bear arms no matter what. Uh, Veterans have fought to where we can have all our amended rights, and yeah, they want to take them all away if they get half the chance. But I care less. Good luck. But anyway, I forgot what. No, here's what I was going to say, Miss Julie Truth. Marlon, and everybody in here. Thanks for joining. You folks, share the space this morning. Get some more folks in here. Uh, we got only a few that have shared. Also, you know, we got the magazine coming out that Marlon's working tirelessly on. Uh, you know, pay attention to the folks coming up, especially the co-host. Follow them if you're not. Appreciate everybody coming in this morning, but hopefully I'll have this Mr. Sal. He does all of his, what about the questions that we're asking about the shipping. Well, he's somewhat of an expert. He's got a YouTube channel that he discusses. He's an ex maritime captain on large ships. He's friends with John Conrad, friend of mine, CEO of G Captain. And I'm hoping he'll be able to tuck in here and get in the mix. Miss Julie Truth, Marlon, talk about some of the issues happening in the Hormuz. Also, with the attacks we're now seeing by the Houthis again, what the effects will be globally with shipping. Talk about some of the insurance issues with these ships, but we'll see. I don't know. He's a busy guy, but I'm DMing in the background, Miss Julie Truth, Marlon, see if he'll come in today.
That's awesome. That would be great because we could, have somebody that's sort of like boots on the ground that can really explain things well to us, so that we are very much in understanding of this, craziness. Because I was seeing that today. Now I know that there was that one ship from, I think, Beijing, or no, I don't know where it was, from yeah,
Bangkok.
Bangkok, right? That was bombed. But wasn't there another boat that was bombed last night? Because now oil's gone up over $100 a barrel. So I don't know if there was another one or not. That's, so I'd be very happy for somebody to come in and explain what's going on with that.
And I just kind of want to add to what we were saying here too. In Evansville, Indiana, I just read the other day that the city council has mandated that if you own a cat, dog, or a ferret, you have to get them vaccinated and microchipped. Now, why are ferrets included? I don't know. I guess there's a problem with ferrets running around loose. I guess that's an Evansville thing. But I sat back, just like with the gun issue. It's like, who are they to tell us what to do with our animals? It's like, I get there's a people who abuse the animals out there, and they do need to be stopped and brought to justice. But the last time I checked, the city doesn't have an authority to tell me what I can and can't do in my house. It's God. And from what and I'm not much of a Bible reader, but I have read bits and pieces of it. We have dominion over the animals, not some random dude in a council that can tell us what we can and can't do. And basically, what I'm getting very tired of this mob rule of as they call it, the democracy, where a group of people can vote and basically tell you how to live your life. I'm over it. I'm done. I just want to be left alone, and I'm reaching that point where I'm done being left alone. I've done everything I can think of to ask these people to leave me alone, and they refuse to do it. And I'm to a point now where, like, okay, you guys want to start stuff? Okay, we'll start stuff. And I guess what I'm getting at is just I'm at my limit with a lot of it, and I'm not quite sure what to do next, except just be the most defiant guy that I could possibly be, just to tick them off on the other side. Basically, kind of be like that child that the parents tell, okay, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, and then the kid just does the opposite of what the parents tell them. I'm there. I'm gonna be that kid, and I'm just so over it. And sorry guys, I didn't mean to wake up the wrong side of the bed this morning, but I'm kind of at my limit with a lot of this stuff right now.
Well, if we got our buddy Tinfoil all right up like that, then that says a lot. 'Cause Ken is one of the nicest, sweetest people I know. And to get you pissed off, something must have happened on your side of the bed that you woke up on this morning, Tim. But I get it, dude. They're poking the bear. It's a constant thing, trying to get us to come out. That happened during that, summer of hate. I hate when people refer to it as a summer of love. They've been taunting and taunting and taunting conservative people to try to come out, poking the bear constantly. And it's like, man, you don't really know what you're asking and what you're wanting, because if that breaks off, it ain't going to be pretty. And I feel your pain. All of us are at that point to where it's just enough is enough. Something, unfortunately might happen that's going to bring it out, but God forbid, because it ain't going to be pretty. Mama came up and then Moab.
Yeah, I just came up to, well, 2 points actually to Moab. I did put down in the purple pill. There is no way on God's green earth that Cindy won over Sarah. I am sorry, but we got some corruption. After going through all the vote rules, I was very confident that our election system here in Mississippi was going to be a lot better than what it turned out to be. When I found out those results, I said, no way in heck, because even people that were on the opposite side of our aisle were saying they were rooting for Sarah, not for Cindy. So I'm sorry. I think, we do have those chips in those machines. And I know that for a fact from being a poll worker. I have brought it up several times. No, it's always fallen on deaf ears. So we need to get rid of the machines. That's what we need to do here in Mississippi. So if you're willing to fight with me over that, let's go. You and I together. Let's see what we can do. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying on my end, and it's not really going very far. But to Tin, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you 120%. Nobody should be telling us, just like with our children, how we should vaccinate or take care of our animals. Unfortunately, I know from personal experience here in Mississippi that I've called sheriff's office on countless occasions because I had this guy that had a dog ring going, a pit bull ring, and I was hearing this dog scream like it was dying. And I ended up walking over there being like, hey, is your dog okay? Come to find out, it was in a mechanism that is used for breeding. Unfortunately, they had 2 male dogs who were loose, who were biting the female dog to where she was bloody because they were fighting over her and they were thinking it was hysterical. When the sheriffs got here, the sheriff said that there is nothing that they could do because it was on their property. They did do a wellness check on the dogs. And, when the dogs get loose, there's no, they're gonna tiff from time to time kind of thing. But I had them on recording and everything, and it fell on deaf ears. So abuse of an animal, I think, needs to have some regulations. Abuse and where we take that, because I do see a lot of abuse, more so down here than I ever did up north. I find dogs on the highway. How can a dog get in a little tiny chow chow on the middle of the highway dead? Like, that doesn't happen. A chow chow just doesn't make its way to a highway. Sorry, it's not going to happen. But with that being said, because I'm getting very angry, I will step down. I just wanted to drop in, say good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. Go ahead, tinfoil, before then Moab can go because I saw you just raised your hand again. So you want to just answer Mama before she drops?
Yeah, and I think part of it, the reason I'm so at my point is because I have a black cat named Sophie. And I was unfortunate able to get her before they vaccinated her. And now when I look at her, she has a constant shake. And all I can tell is I think it's from the vax, from the rabies vax. Because right after the whole COVID thing, I got her when the whole Haitian thing was going on and about them eating the animals and stuff. And it was kind of my way of responding to that by adopting another kitty. Um, and I told myself that I don't know if I could do another animal shelter again unless I have the option not to vaccinate. Because when I had another kitty, and I'm trying to be very careful how to say this because let's just say I ran into another kitty that was able to be obtained before they fully vaccinated her. And I can tell she is one of the most healthy kitties I've seen. She's definitely full of life. She gets in all kinds of things. She has a avid love for water, which is very, very kind of entertaining in a different way. But I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference, and I know it's that rabies vaccine, and I don't want to be forced to give that to an animal. And the way they have it set up now, you can't adopt one unless they're fully vaxxed, which kind of it just I should have that decision, and it parallels to what the parents are going through with their kids, being forced to vaccinate them. And to me, the reason I kind of jumped on that one after the gun thing is because again, you have a group of people trying to tell you what to do when it should be your choice. That's the whole idea of at will or free or what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say freedom, but at will at the same time, if that makes sense. Um, but it's you know, if I could somehow find a way to do it, I want to sell my place, move out of the city, and move to a rural area because I'm just so done with people. And I don't want to interact with anyone on the left anymore. I'm shutting down a lot of people over there because it's always the same thing. It's they always want to tell us what to do, and it's not really just the left; it's the narcissist. And I think what made me break yesterday, and I'm going to kind of keep this very vague. I have a friend who has a disability. She has cerebral palsy. So she's been living with her parents for a while now, and now she decided she wanted to get a job to better herself. She wants to better herself. When she told her parents threatened to kick her out.
Okay, we're almost.
I was left dumbfounded.
To clean up.
You know, I've seen shitty parents before, but that took the cake. That made me so speechless. I didn't know how to respond. And I just knew that those are not the people I want the people to tell me how to live my life because that's not normal. That's not how our society is supposed to be. And and sorry guys, as you can tell, one thing kind of leads another with me, and then it just kind of builds, and then I hit my point. But I'll land there because I feel like I'm starting to ramble.
Oh, it's all good, Tim. I feel your pain, man. I really do. And it's a damn shame. You're sounding more and more like a veteran, though. Hating people, wanting to live out in the boondocks like me. So, welcome to being a veteran. I know we got a lot of people that came up with some hands here. Hey,
Yeah, Moab, Texas, and then Cassandra.
there we go. All right.
Yeah, I'll just respond to Mom. I mean, yeah, I met the other candidate running, but the fact of the matter is, it's just sad but true. Um, the other candidate was endorsed by the president, incumbent, and yet, you know, the way you fight it is I've been fighting it for years over here in, you know, Jackson County with the machines questioning. Talked to the poll worker the other day about the process. If you know, the monitoring process was, they were doing a little bit better job. You know, they were unattended the last primary election, which I noticed. But the way you fight it, to answer the question is, the way you fight it is help promote passage of the Save America Act. And it's real simple. Getting ballots that are handwritten, filled out, period. Get rid of the machines totally, because it's sad but true. But the local, I went to the local election boards here. They're not going to do anything. They've told me that behind closed doors. There's nothing we can do. We have to continue utilizing these machines. But we're going to find out here shortly. I'm not happy with Thune. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. Both sides of the aisle with rhinos and the Democrats are both signaling to the American people they don't want free and fair elections. And yeah, I don't have any problem fighting harder, but it's the unfortunate that is truth is the local legislative body can't do much about it as far as these electronic machines. That's what I've learned.
Yes, sir. There's just going to go back and forth, but let's get through a couple hands here. Texas, go ahead, please.
Good morning, y'all. Ain't talked to y'all in a while. Had a little minute this morning to jump in, see what y'all are doing, saying hi. So, you know, we've been pushing this trucking issue for a long time, y'all, and you know, I finally got out of the truck, man. I went back to a place where I worked previous. I had a career at a water company. I was a supervisor here. I swallowed my pride and went back. Started back Monday. I should have never left, man. I'd be almost ready to retire by now. I'd been here 15 years, and the benefits here are incredible. But, you know, I was a knothead and I wanted to do something different, so I done it and paid the price. I basically donated a decade to the road, to trucking, made a lot of friends. But I'm still going to continue to advocate for truckers, but, you know, I'm back to work, man. You know, they started me back out at $23 an hour with full benefits, and that's retirement at, I pay 7%, they match 14, and it earns 7% interest a year. So in 15 more years from now, I will be able to retire. When I get my license updated, because my license has lapsed since I've left, I'll get a really good raise. All paid holidays, all full benefits, you know, 2 hours a week, sick time earned, an hour and a half a week, personal takeoff time earned, an hour and a half a week, vacation time earned. And as you're here years, it all goes up and up and up. So I'm happy. My wife's happy. I'm off the road. I'm home. My daughter's happy, and you know, no stress. My blood pressure dropped 30 points since coming off the road. I've dropped 25 pounds. Actually, going back to work is getting me back in shape. I probably just added years to my life. I don't know if y'all know it, but a trucker's life expectancy is 61. So, you know, I'm encouraging others to explore other options. If they didn't have, woe to those who didn't have a career before they got involved in trucking. The government has broken trucking and they don't intend to fix it. I feel like they're just giving us lip service, saying they're going to do this, do that, while pushing it down the road. We've seen Duffy say, oh, we're going to do a 5-year phase out because we don't want to upset the market. Well, if it comes down to safety, then your job is to upset the market, because that's what the FMCSA is about, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Safety is in their name. That's their mandate. but they're not willing to do that. And my opinion is that they're doing the 5 years phase out on these non-domiciled and unqualified illegal immigrants and immigrants to kind of hold the bar until autonomy gets ushered in. So I think it's become a dead end job. And I'm telling truckers left and right, and I've corresponded with a bunch of them that says they're doing just that. They're looking for a way out, or they found a way out and they're getting out. So, you know, this was the whole result of the Biden Trucking Action Plan. They sacrificed the best American truckers for the lowest paid trash that they imported in. But man, I love y'all. I can't get in very often now. I'll get in when I can. But I just wanted to come up and say hi to y'all. Marlon, I love you, brother. All of y'all, man. Y'all have been awesome to me through the years, man. We've been doing this some years, but I appreciate y'all.
Okay.
Hey, Texas, we're happy to hear that. That's great. Marlon, are you back? You want to talk?
Yeah, I just want to say, Texas, man, it's dude, you are a brother, and I'm glad to hear. Hey, man, I know you're hating yourself for going back, or we're swallowing your pride, but you're doing the right thing, man. And hey, I wish you nothing but luck.
Well, Miss Cassandra, if you didn't see it, Marlon, she was next, and Cliff's got his hand up as well.
Look, I just have to say round of applause. Round of applause for losing 25 pounds and getting your health in order. Man, so proud of you. And I don't see him up on stage because X has been awful lately, but that's amazing, especially with such times of stress. Cortisol hangs on to all that fat. So anyways, I was just going to comment on the whole veterinarian vaccine, and it's just such, everything is a mirror of the Ponzi scheme that we live in. Everything, even down to getting pet insurance. You know, I'm gonna pay extra for pet insurance, make sure that when I go in, I don't have any allegiance to actually what I say you can do to my dog. And I'm getting my very first puppy on hopefully Friday, because we're trying to get ahead of the storm. So they're gonna drive her out on Friday versus Saturday, Sunday up here in Minnesota. But like, I'm literally having to go on Facebook and ask different, I own an organic salon. So I'm like, well, this can't be too hard to find a natural vet that's not gonna make me vax my dog. And I think it came down to the breeder that I chose. She was okay with not touching her and delivering her, but it's really sad that you have to have a certain vet come to your home and be in hiding because you know, you don't have any allegiance on how you care to even take care of your pets. So I was just echoing the frustration and a real life scenario of trying to find a vet to come to my home versus have to go into the center so I'm not obliterated by their nonsense. So that's all I wanted to share.
Cassandra, great to see you. Thanks for coming up. And you know, all the times that we've had pets all over the years, and then there was a switch, right? You had to get your dog vaccinated. Now it's over, like they said, they're not even allowing them to adopt them without a full vaccination schedule. I mean, you know, that's a show. It's like, what are we doing now? We're working to the point where, hey, it's okay to take all these needles and chemicals. We sure didn't need it when we were kids, Cassandra.
Well, and
And
the
neither did our
integrity
pets.
of the breeder as well. I mean, the whole thing is unfortunate because then you've got these breeders that are like, nope. I mean, with my mom's puppy, they got three weeks ago. I mean, she was super persistent on making sure that she did not let that puppy go until she had those whatever the first or second ones was. Now, my mom's not as strong as me, so she acquiesced. But you know, when you look at the system, just like the doctor's office, right? It's if you can get them 3 more visits a year or a couple more visits to mandate those vaccinations, it's just another profit center for the vets. And then, oh, by the way, while you're there, something else is wrong with your dog, so we're gonna upcharge and make sure that you do X, Y, and Z. So it's a feeder chain and a funnel to also keep. You know, I have nothing against vets. God bless them. I haven't even entered into this ecosystem for me to be judgmental, but everything is a funnel.
And just Marlon, just to kind of update you on how this all came about, tinfoil had brought this up, but the real reason that we started talking about this was that Truth had brought up about what they're trying to pass in Virginia with the Second Amendment. What are they trying to pass? Truth, you want to just say the exact bill?
The typical MO, banning guns, banning high capacity magazines, all the stupid stuff. Calling them assault weapons or whatever, whatever crap label idiot thing that they do. I mean, they define an AR, like an AR-15 as an assault rifle. AR stands for assault rifle. No, it doesn't. You freaking moron. But anyway, don't get me started. I'll shut up for now. Cliff has got his hand up, and then LB.
Well, let's go to Cliff. Cliff, how you doing? Thanks for coming up, and we'll go to you, LB.
Good morning. Thank you, Marlon, Truth, Julie. Good seeing you. I got a question for y'all. Okay. And it's something that probably needs to be marinated. I mean, I'm hearing everybody's pain and everything about the SAVE Act and everything. Here in South Carolina, and this goes back years ago, the Senate had some changes that need to be done. Okay. And the people that were in positions that should have moved up decided they didn't want to move. So what did they do? Okay. Here's my question. Why do we have to have a member to be a leader or a speaker? Okay. Here in South Carolina, under the Senate, when they come in the chamber, they've got somebody up there that brings it up, brings them in, starts the business. Okay. They're not a member. Okay. But any bill that comes from the House or is read is taken up, either voted up or voted down. That is their position, and that's what they do. It is not affiliated by certain parties. It's just one person doing a job. Why hadn't this been thought about in Congress? This is something that needs to be looked at strongly, and getting rid of members pushing their political thing across. And in their area, they're all the same. So it's best to get somebody who's neutral in there to get a job done. If they don't get a job done, they get fired and they find somebody else to do it. I just want that question answered.
It's real simple because of the lobbyist, because these people put in the leadership role are put in there by the people, the elites, the powerful, the most money. That's a real good thing. I'm from South Carolina originally, Charleston. Chad Caton talks about. Sorry about that, Marlon. Stupid phone. People won't give me a break. But yeah, it's real simple, just like term limits. It's crazy. That's the reason that John Thune is in the position. You notice all these leaders that they put as leadership roles. Half of the people, the people that is, don't even want them. I mean, why is it that, speaking of South Carolina, same case in point, why does Lindsey Graham continuously get reelected? I'll tell you why. The power lobbies, the major manufacturers of, war items, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, etc. That he continues to say the horrendous things that he says with no conscience, none, zero. No, it's a break. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, to put it simple, the short answer of the long is these people are put into power because of the people behind them, the money. And we need to change it. We need term limits. I mean, how many people want to continue to watch that potato head Mitch McConnell talk who can't, he's brain dead. How many times we got to deal with that?
Potato head. I love it. He is a potato head. Moab, you're right on. I want to just say one quick thing. I watched
Sure.
Minnesota debates last night. Okay. I want to challenge everybody. When you start seeing your candidates be televised, so we watch it on Alpha, I watch it on Alpha News. Every ounce in my body, even though I know that these people are like, great, I'm in this because I want to take out the establishment, even though they may have the best intentions. I have such a internal, unconscious, and subconscious disdain for anybody running right now, even though they may be this most brilliant, whatever. My body literally is detested against every single person that is running on that stage. So challenge your nervous system and see how you feel. And as we get closer to elections, it's going to get very interesting because as disclosure continues to come out, I want nothing to do with government at this point. I think about how much time I give my space, my heart, my mind to try to turn this around. I'm not giving up. I'm here for the long run. But as is, we have a serious revolution that we need with how things are run, which we see is happening. But I have no interest in government or even, I'm going to say it right here. I have no interest of even voting until situation is rendered and we have paper ballots and I can see that that's going to be warranted, let alone pay my taxes this year in Minnesota. So we still have yet to see a revolution when these elections start of people saying, screw off. I don't believe anything you say. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Well, Cass, you're bringing up, though, a really poignant point here. This is by design. The way you feel is the way most Americans feel. It's by design to make us not care anymore. Why vote? Doesn't matter.
I get it. And that's my concern. Nobody has any trust in the system anymore. So that's going to be a part of this campaign. It's less about who's running. It's about how can we trust our system. And yet we have a lot of disclosure to come out that that's going to rector and transition itself. But this is part of the big scare movement is that, or this scare event, I believe it has to bring everybody together at such a level, so deep inside of them that we can go back in and vote with vigor and passion and purpose.
Yeah, it got lost, and I know Marlon has a lot to say about this stuff. I'm sorry, Julie, I didn't see it. But it got lost. I'm sorry, it got lost though in all of these conglomerates that fund these campaigns, and the fact that states and at the federal level charge money for you to run for office, and basically whoever's got the bigger pocketbook is the one who wins. That is so corrupt to its core, it shouldn't cost a dime to run for public office. So until we stop all of this nonsense dead in its tracks, we're always going to have bought and paid for politicians. Always. They already are, you can already count their vote before they even get elected. You can guarantee what they will vote for by who has funded their campaign. That's a given. And until we fix that, and I don't know how we can, we're supposed to vote on it, but if the voting is messed up, you see why it's so important for the Save America Act. Man, there's just so much. Right.
Well, let's go ahead, Julie. You want to add in, and then I want to answer Cliff's question. Go ahead, Julie.
Okay, well, actually, this is pretty important, and I can't even believe I forgot to talk about this, Marlon. So last night in Monmouth County, the GOP, they just installed somebody behind closed doors, this Michael McGuire, okay? And he's being installed as the candidate who cannot beat Herb Conway. Now, this is the same thing. Our NJ GOP, remember when Michael ran for that seat, it was behind closed doors, that voting. It wasn't open to the public. So they also work in conjunction with each other. These states, these Rhino Republicans and these Democrats are working with each other. I honestly don't even know that we have any true Republicans at all in New Jersey. If you really want to know the truth, and I totally forgot to tell you that, Marlon. That I was reading this article, this post last night that Linda from New Jersey had put out. Because when Michael ran for that position, it wasn't like it was open for the public. Like I couldn't have just went down to where they were when they were voting for this. He was allowed to have one guest, and that was Defender that came with him. That was it. Like it wasn't like it was open for everybody else to go in there and decide what was going on. So yes, this SAVE Act is a big deal because we don't even have anybody representing us really in New Jersey on the Republican side, and that's sad. That's a shame. So I just wanted to say that. I will put that down in the purple bubble though, Marlon. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cliff, let the answer there, or the question that you asked was, hey, why are we consistently letting these decisions go by us? And I want to point out one thing, because it goes exactly what Moab said, right? It goes to the point where when the lobbyists, okay, look at our education system as a perfect example. If you look at the trades that have been removed out of there, even home ec, to the point to give these kids a some kind of sense of worth, teach them how to cook a little bit. But really what it's been is it's the insurance lobbyists that have go beat these trades out of the schools, out of our public schools, because of lawsuits. Right. So now you have the same lobbyists that go to these campaign rallies, and they're the first ones to step up and give this campaign money. Now you have that congressman, a state senator, or assembly person. They're under their wing now because they took money from that NGO group, whether it's a 2A group, whether it's a industrial group. I mean, there's a zillion of them out there. So, Cliff, the money behind them. If you look at how they wanted to dumb our kids down, well, they took all the essentials out of there. Some of these kids can't even tie their shoes, tie a knot, cut a piece of wood, use a measuring stick to be able to understand the measurement of it, Cliff. So, it is aggravating when we see these things coming down. Cliff, I want to get you to answer because, it hit me because you're asking why, and we know the reason why. And then we're going to go to you, LB. Okay.
Hey, Marlon, real quick before you answer Cliff, can you bring Take back up? I can't get him up.
Yeah, no problem. Cliff, you there? And then we'll go to LB.
Yeah, I'm here.
So basically, we're coming back to the same argument all the time. And where are the change? Why isn't the change happening? The change is happening because of the influence of money. And when you keep Republican candidates down, they're starving for money in their campaign pack. They have to bend the knee and take it from these people, because if not, they're not going to be able to run. And it's like they're caught in a catch-22. They can't turn and get funding anywhere else because should be the general public that's actually doing the funding. The Trump administration talked about the bureaucracy all the time and the way that these NGOs and lobbyists have captured it, right? That's really the end result is cutting off the money, making a level playing field. And I believe that's what the SAVE Act does.
Well, it's time to do something. I mean, get rid of lobbyists. Go ahead and pass the SAVE Act and do away with the filibuster. Be done with it. And maybe we can get things straightened out with term limits.
Basically, we can't. And I'm going to give you a great reason why, right? Us as Americans, we don't want that filibuster to go away. I know a lot of people are talking about it. Yes, it would be great, but we can see how it would be manipulated in the future. Basically, in my opinion, that we need to use evidence that's even coming out of our spaces and our community and go against these senators and congressmen and show them the evidence. You have child trafficking going on in your congressional district. We're going to run to the hills if you don't vote for the SAVE Act. So us as Republicans, we're not going to change the rhinos, but we can change the softies. And this is how they can break the filibuster. I say break it because we need Democrats to step across the line. One of them is this Fetterman. Okay, everybody's laughing at him, the sweatsuit guy, but damn, You know what? Because his constituents are not going to put up with that in Pennsylvania, where he comes from. These are blue collar farmers, mechanics. You know, these are down to earth, salt of the earth people, and his constituents are not going to put up with it. That's why he's up there congratulating the Trump administration. So as soon as we realize that we have to really lean on the other side, whether we're Republicans, independent, or Democrats, we got to learn to do this. And we're not doing it as Americans, Cliff. So as soon as people get that uncomfortable and really want to do something about it, we need to show the evidence that's even coming out of this community. And when we get motivated enough to do that and hone these swords that we're building in the background, well, maybe it'll be a little bit more effective, Cliff. When you start messing around with the votes and the money, they're going to snap too quick. So we got to do it a little different than we've been used to in the past. That's my opinion, Cliff. Now, you know, everybody doesn't have to agree with me, but you know, you're looking at a guy that lives in New Jersey that 54 to 27 in my state legislature, everything that goes up leftist is going to pass. And my socialist governor is going to sign it pleasantly. So we're up against a big wall here in Jersey now. Hey, let's go to LB. LB, how you doing? Great to see you. Thanks for coming.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is for Tien and for everybody that has pets. A lot of us, they're considered our family members, our fur babies, whatever. But most of the vets, 80% of the vets have gone corporate. That's the problem. Also, the vaccines, Tom Rentz talks about this a lot. Most of the rabies now are the mRNA. So you need to find an older independent vet or a holistic vet. And, you know, make sure you read the inserts. Now, on a rabies vaccine, you want a killed, you have modified live and you have killed. The modified live is more risky, more side effects, and can even cause death in some breeds. The killed is a lot safer. So, you know, you need to talk to your vet just like you would to your pediatrician for your child. I've been doing rescue for over 30 years. I have 2 rescues right now. And of course, they had to be vaxxed. They had to, you know, have the microchips. And then I've got another rescue that doesn't have that. But the rabies that the 2 got, I made sure I checked the paperwork and made sure that they did not get the mRNA rabies. Had they gotten it, I would not have taken them. Because I work with a rescue group here in Georgia. So anyway, that's information for everybody. Just be diligent with your, you know, your vet. Now there are becoming more and more holistic vets. And I was a vet tech for 14 years, but I've been away from it for a long time. But animal husbandry is my calling. It's something I've done most of my life. And if anybody has any questions, you can DM me. I'm not a vet. I'm not a vet tech anymore, but the 2 vets that I worked with for so long, they were old school, but they also did modern. But they taught me a lot of home DIYs that I can do for my animals here. One of my rescues just got bit by a water moccasin about a week and a half ago. And I pulled her through. She's the 3rd dog I pulled through at home with a venomous snake bite. Now, I'm not telling y'all to do it. You know, always go to your vet, you know, but because I have the knowledge, I'm able to do it. So if anybody gets in a really bind and you need some help, please DM me and I will try to help you, you know, through it the best you can. Because if you're like me, you love your little fur babies, and mine are everything to me. They're like family. They're like my children, grandchildren, whatever. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. And y'all have a very blessed day. And thank you, Marlon, Truth, Julie, everybody in here.
What were the 2 rabies? There's 2 different rabies shots. What's the difference between the 2?
One is a modified live, which is it's a live virus. And then there's a killed, and the killed is safer. It's a lot safer. even with the killed, your breeds like your Rotties, some of your, you can research it, but for your Pacific breed, I would check into it, because everybody's got different breed dog. But there are some breeds that, you may need to give them some Benadryl before you get the vaccines. Just check with your vet. Ask a lot of questions. And I prefer the older vets that have been around for a while, because the younger ones are coming out, and of course they're indoctrinated as well as our regular doctors are. And that's just my preference from what I know and my knowledge.
Well, LB, I think we could probably do a space on just that. So I appreciate you coming up here with your expertise and really showing us and talking to us about it, because I don't think a lot of people know, and we're just going along with it. And they're okay, yeah, the dog needs to be vaccinated. Do the animals really need it? No, we know they don't. So thanks, thanks, LB. Hey, the tobacco season's just about ready to go in the ground. So thanks for coming up, lady.
I hear that mine are getting ready to go in the ground too. So we'll compare notes as it gets going.
That sounds great. Hey, before we go to you, Jenny, and then we're going to go to Carol, and then we'll go to Take Back. Hey, quick shout out to Winona and Gypsy. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in today. And keep working hard there, Winona. I see what you're doing. So any help we can do, we're.
Thank you. Thank you, Marlon. And thank you for giving me the mic. Hello, beautiful people. I love saying that. Um, yes, it's a lot of hard work back here trying to um, do the 100% American beef initiative. So we're working hard on it. So we're making some stride, and yeah, I'm just very optimistic. We need our beef back here being bred and born and processed here in America. So thank you guys. Thank you, Marlene, again. And you guys have a great day.
Thanks, Winona.
And any post or whatever here, please share it with us. And I don't care if it's every day. Thanks for coming up, Winona. Good. Maybe we go to Jenny. Jenny, how you doing? Welcome up.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, I wanted to go back to what I think Julie was saying regarding these elections and people being placed in there. Listen, I know everybody's frustrated, and this is what it's taking. This is what it's going to take, right? We have to show the people, uh, to show the exposure, right? The corruption, and that's what we're seeing. Everybody, do not forget that the 2020 election is about to come out. Look at what Donald Trump is posting on his True Social. I always say, watch his movement, watch what he says, watch his True Social. He is talking about it. I'm being told that this could be happening any day, week, month, right before the election. So just hang in there, buddy, because it's not until we show the people that they get pissed off enough to want to rise and make, make a difference. So I know it's frustrating. I know people are not liking it, but these people are exactly what Julie said. They are placed in there for such a time as this because they're unraveling and showing the people how deep and twisted this corruption is. So hang in there, buddy, because I'm telling you, I mean, they just came in here to Maricopa County and they just confiscated Tulsi Gabbard and her team, all the election fraud. And Arizona is a big state for that election fraud. So it's about to pop, you guys. Just know that it's coming, but they're showing the people the rest, and maybe not for us here, but for those normies out there that still aren't getting it, because unfortunately there is a lot of people that still don't get it, and who knows, a lot of people may not ever get it, right? But this is what they're doing. So hang tight, everybody. It's gonna get more intense as these preliminaries go on, but it's coming. This 2020 is coming. They're talking about Tina Peters and how they need to get her out of there. Trump is demanding it over and over. So I believe we could start seeing that come to fruition as well. So pay attention to those things and really, really, like I tell my audience all the time, watch Donald Trump, what he says, what he posts, and his movement. because he's really showing us, everybody. And I'm telling you, you may not get as upset or frustrated as you would if you're not paying attention. Because I think what's happening is a lot of people are paying attention to, like I always say, the surface stuff, and that drain never goes down. But if you look further into it, like what Donald Trump is telling us, then you're probably not going to be as upset. So just I just say this: hang in there, everybody. Stay positive. We got to stay positive because at the end of the day, we are coming to the lighter side of this. Dark to light, everybody. We're almost there.
Jenny, I have to say one thing. There's certain people on this app that need to when they bring me back down to earth and to reality, and you're one of them. Thank you for your voice and thank you for your knowledge. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Julie, thank you, mamas.
LB, did you want to say something quick before we go to Pop Star?
Yeah, thank you. I'll say it real quick. This is to Cass. They came in, the FBI came in about 2 weeks ago down to Fulton County, Georgia, which is Atlanta. And they got all the ballots and everything for this particular case. So, yeah, it's going to be coming out on the 2020 election. So that's really good news.
Yes, amen.
Yeah, and I just want, Marlon, I just wanted to say to those candidates and Jen, great points, and you're right on. False flags are going to be flying like flying colors here in the next coming weeks, but, we need to pray for these candidates because they're stepping into a very, very challenging situation. They're going to have the best years of their life because they're going to be a part of the transition and what we're moving into. So, my sentiment is, I just really want to give my heart and dedication to those that are going to be running, and so that we can support them given the nature that we're in. So anyways, right on, Jen. Back over to you, Marlon.
It's an investment in these candidates. And when you support them in a local role, you see these people actually go through your township, into your county, into your state. And these are people that you invest in and watch and ask questions. So we need real people to step up. We need to slap the children out of the way and let the adults take over. Go ahead, Julian. We're going to pop there.
Yeah, real quick. I might need tinfoil back up here. I'm starting to we've got about good size hail coming down here. I was just hearing some noise. I'm like, what's going on here? And I look outside and I would say it's a little bit bigger than a pea, but they are coming down pretty good. So we got hail now.
Well, Papa Carol, good to see you. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'll just say a quick good morning. I had actually getting back off track again, as I'm good at doing. I had a question for LB about, rescuing, because I've always done a rescue from shelters, and now I'm getting concerned because, I lost my dog last year. It's been almost a year ago, and I feel ready to rescue another dog, but I do not want this mRNA business, because I know that I'm going to end up, or I feel strongly that I'll probably end up with an ill animal, and I just don't, I'm looking for a healthy pet that I know is going to be with me for a while. So what do you anticipate is going to happen as they pull out these mRNA vaccines for the shelters and people rescuing? Like, what do you think is going to be the long-term implications of this involving shelters? And is there any way to have, or for someone like me who wants to rescue a pet, where can we go that would not involve these mRNA shots?
Well, you could go to your local shelter and just ask the questions, ask to see the paperwork, ask to see the vaccines. They come in, the rabies actually come in 2 different vials. They're a powder and a liquid. Normally, the rabies is a pink color, the liquid part, and then they're mixed and kept refrigerated. Normally, you don't mix them until right before you give it. And you want to, because they are refrigerated, you want to warm it up just a little bit before it's given. But yeah, ask for the paperwork and, ask all the questions. Ask for the insert on these vaccines. You can go to individual. People are always got puppies and kittens if you want to do it that way. You know, there are groups on pretty much on Facebook. I'm not sure about TikTok or the other ones, but I know Facebook has got a lot of people, you know, they don't get their animals spayed and neutered. So you got to kind of be picky and careful. But your local shelter, just go in and ask the questions, ask to see the insert, ask them straight up. What vaccines are you giving these animals? Don't be afraid. I mean, you can be very kind and firm at the same time. You know, and that's my best advice. You can either go to an individual or, you know, go into the shelter and ask questions. I do. I'm not scared to, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm against this and, you know, I don't need a sick animal later on down the road. Another thing, too, these animals are considered your property. Now, it might be different in different states, but I know here in Georgia, they're considered your property. And you know, your livestock is considered your property. And you have the right to protect your pets, your property. That's a loophole for us. If you guys want to look into that, because they are in a lot of states considered your property, and you have the right to protect your property. So that's kind of a little loophole for us. And because the mRNA vaccines have been proven to be, you know, unsafe, you have a leg to stand on, so to speak.
Okay, that's very helpful. So that answers several questions. But you do anticipate that the shelters are going to be moving to the mRNA shots. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're actually already out in the market. And this is why you need to ask, you need to look at the insert, and, you know, and you just really have to ask the questions and see the paperwork.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome, hon.
I think it's a subject that we probably should talk a little bit more about. I don't think most people are just, you know, understanding, hey, what those pets are actually under. That it's bad enough for our kids. Now they're after our pets. You know, there's, you know, notions that we talked a long time ago about an organization called Zios, and and this was headed up by Zuckerberg to actually vaccinate wildlife. And because, you know, hey, they want this vaccine everywhere, and they came out with a post and said that they administered 100 million doses. And in my back of my head, I'm wondering, you know, they're not going out there with blow guns and darts to go dart these animals. They're doing it through some kind of feed mechanism. Now, when I heard that, I tried to put it in my head and how they would have accomplished it. And actually, now I realize if you guys look at the feed that's out there now, and they all have the nutrient blocks that, you know, hey, deer hunters use, and, you know, a lot of animals go up, and I got a sneaky suspicion that it's in the granules, and they're actually digesting the mRNA vaccine through ingestion. So to hear this company or this organization, Zios by Zuckerberg, is out there actively doing this, are the feed companies just as liable? Do they know what's going into there? Are they confirming this? So not only your pets, but they're also attacking our wildlife. And you guys all know me, man. I'm motivated by wildlife. So this was very concerning. I don't think this is over. But what I am shocked about is I didn't really have any of the hunting community come forward and even say anything about it. So I don't know. I think it's another question that needs to be raised. Anyway, LB, did you want to say something quick, and then we're going to take back, and then we'll go to Russell, Joe.
Well, they are dropping the rabies baits, and the weird thing about it is they put out a warning. They just did our area, and they are putting out a warning to keep your pets inside. Don't let them get a hold of these rabies baits. Well, if it's just rabies, then what's the problem? You know what I mean? I just don't trust it at all. It's just I'm a critical thinker, so and because I do animal husbandry, it just doesn't make any sense.
You mean if the dog went outside and ingested one of these baits, it's a vaccine against rabies. They get them now anyway. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so they say, but we've been lied to about so much. I mean, why would it be detrimental to your animal if it ate a rabies bait? It just makes no sense to me. Um, it goes deeper than that, Marlon. I mean, I do a lot of research on, and I follow a lot of different vets, and I keep up to date on most everything that's going on because I love my animals. I mean, I've got chickens and I've got all kinds of wildlife around here, yes, but um, it's just one of those things. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they haven't dropped rabies baits since what, the 70s? So, for them to all of a sudden start dropping rabies baits all of a sudden, it just makes no sense.
Well, I think you're making more sense than understanding why they would say that, right? Yeah, I'm with you, LB. If the dog, is administers this, is he going to croak? It doesn't make any sense. You're right. Um, Thanks for that, LB. Let's go to Take Back, and then we'll go to you, Russell, Joe, or
Hey, Marlon, and Truth, and Julie, thanks for supporting the space. I just wanted to address what LB said about protecting your property. And let me just read the New Jersey Constitution because I don't think we're reading it or understanding it. Oh, no, I just lost it. Give me a minute. Paragraph 1, Article 1, Paragraph 1, all persons are by nature free and independent and have certain natural and unalienable rights, among which are those of enjoying and defending life and liberty, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property. And animals are our property, livestock, our pets, our kids, they're all our property. And pursuing and obtaining safety and happiness. Well, I don't think anybody here is happy or feel that they're safe. So all our remedy rests in the Constitution and the oath that they took to uphold the Constitution, not the statutes. They didn't take an oath. Our elected officials didn't take an oath to uphold the statutes. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution. So if you're not reading your state's Constitution and the other 49 states, you're missing the boat. All this could be resolved if we learn the Constitution and John Locke and Black's Law Dictionary, the terms, they changed the terms so that one thing doesn't mean that as much as the other. Petition. They took the word redress of grievances and changed it to petition, which it is a petition in one sense, it is a petition, but it's not necessarily redress of grievances unless you formulate it that way. So they watered down all our remedy that they took. And if you look in the statutes, even in the statutes, they change the statutes every year or every time they're up there in your capital. They change it and they reduce felonies to misdemeanors. And then they reduce them later on. The next couple of years, they reduce them to fines. What good is a fine of $25 now? It's useless. I mean, you spend $25 in Starbucks every morning. Well, maybe not 25, but $15. So the money is inconsequential, especially when everything is raised up and the cost of everything. I know in 72, I bought a new car for $3,300. Now you can't get anything for less than $60,000. Come on, when are we going to wake up? And getting back to the parties, the parties are a way to divide the people, just like race and gender and all these other ways you can divide them with the religions. it's all a way to divide it, and they're not on your side. They're a club, and you're not in it, right? So they've all failed you. The medical profession has failed you. The government has failed you. The whatever profession, they've all failed you. The intention was good. They got together and formed an association and to better things, and they got infiltrated. And now the people have to step up. If you're not going to look at the Constitution, we've been in this for over 10 years, some 20 years, and without resolution on anything, not finalizing any major success in turning the stuff around. So what is the definition of insanity? Trying to do the same thing with the same tools and expecting a different result. Nobody's using the Constitution. They talk about a little bit about it, but they don't use it. I went to one of the assemblymen in New Jersey, and I said, when they bring up a bill and it violates the Constitution, why are you not saying it violates the Constitution? Well, we don't have the majority. That has nothing to do with whether you're violating the Constitution. They don't even.
Back. You know what? Yesterday, I was asked this question. Somebody in, look, we saw the poor turnout. Hey, what's our course of action now? And that was exactly what I told them was, they got to find some kind of evidence that they're going against the constituents inside of that county.
The evidence is blatant. It's there. It's been out there for a decade, literally a decade, with the jabs and stuff like that. They put poison in your food. It's in the label, but nobody is documenting the evidence. We got to understand what evidence is and how to use it. They use it against us, and they manufacture evidence, and we can't do that, but we don't even have to. It's all out there. The reports, Dr. David Martin on the vaccines. I mean, how long has he been touting all the patents on it? It's like, when are we going to wake up and start using the Constitution and enforcing?
Because they're not inconvenient enough, or not made.
Right. That's right. So you know what? It's going to get worse. And and I want to shout out to Carmen and Jenny and Mitchell and Sir Oliver and Rubber Duck. They have the X Spaces that granted it's at late at night. They start like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, but they go over all the details, the gory details of what we're in and how this is coming about. But unfortunately, I don't hear anybody talking about the oath except for just a few of us. The oath of office. They swore an oath to the Constitution, not the statutes, and they swore an oath to uphold it, and they're not upholding it. And that's the Achilles heel, or the point of the spear. That, and documenting the evidence that they're not doing it. Right? We're not creating evidence like they do sometimes.
Hey, and again, it goes back to participation. So hey, you wanna wrap your thought? We'll go to Russ.
That's it. Oath, Constitution. Read the Constitution, the 50 state constitutions, the Bill of Rights or Declaration of Rights, because not one, but all of them cover. Each one is a piece of the puzzle. So you have to read a dozen of them before you get it. But I would start with the 13 colonies first. I yield.
Thanks, brother.
Hey, Marlon.
Yeah.
I can't see hands. I apologize. I'm coming in here again, dropping a Moab. Take back. I hear what you're saying. I'm hearing what Jenny's saying. I'm hearing what a lot of people, these same spaces that you references don't even know who the order of the presidents are, though. I just got to be honest. I got to drop a Moab. Yeah, they're saying good stuff, but come on. I mean, we've been talking about this for 2 years. We've shown the evidence. We've shown it. The 2020 election. How much evidence do you need? How much evidence do you need? Yeah. Well, it's not because of we the people. It's not because of us. It's because of the lobbyists and the people that are installed in D.C. Yeah, you're right. We're allowing it. You know, look what happened when people went and protested a fraudulent, clearly stolen election. What happened? They locked them up and used the Patriot Act against them. Yeah, it's not like we get it. We appreciate you saying it. Listen, we get it. This is like I mean, you know, come on, Marlon, help me out here. It's like a freaking revolving door.
Here's a good example. I want to go to Roswell. Go ahead, Roswell. I'm sure you got a lot to say.
Let me just
Yeah,
explain the words protest, redress of
Man, hold on. There's too many people talking. I'm sorry. Take back. Did you want to say something? And we'll go to you, Roswell.
Yeah, the example I just gave that they're changing the words. A protest is a protest is a redress of grievances, but what they're doing is a riot. A riot is assembling of 3 or more, sometimes there are 12 or more in any one location. That's called a riot. If you look up the word meaning of the words, a riot is assembling the people. That a redress of grievances is documenting evidence of wrongdoing by your elected officials or your neighbor if they do something against you. So you're not learning the words. You're using the words that they gave you.
A riot was caused by the provocateurs, buddy. There was innocent people that went up there to peacefully listen to what I'm saying. The president said it. Peacefully protest.
But that's a riot. In the terms of the Constitution, that's a riot. This is the problem. We don't understand the words. You have to look up the words, the meaning of the words. You have to use Noah's Webster Dictionary of 1828 and Black's Law Dictionary first, the fourth or fifth edition, because they changed the words. So when you say something, it means something else. When you go up in front of Congress or your legislator, you're saying one thing and they look at you as ignorant because you are ignorant of the words you're using. I'm not saying you're ignorant. The definitions are
No. We're not taking it like that. The definitions of the words have been manipulated. Absolutely. Let's go to Russell. I'm sure he's got a lot to say. Russell, how you doing, man? Welcome up.
I'm doing good. Yeah, well, you're right on my lane here. I did a year. I'm a J6er. I watched all this. I went on the stand. I fought it. Did everything I could do according to what we all think that you need to do. But the language is askew for sure. The argument that I have is it doesn't matter because those people are in control and they're going to ramrod you right through there, whether you like it or not. And if anything that looks good to you as far as your case goes, they've got a way to get by it or a way to say it differently. And we had, 2020, the proof is there. It's been there since 5 years. We've been telling them it was there. We didn't have standing. We didn't have this. And that's all because of the district judges and the bureaucrats in between us and the Supreme Court that wouldn't let it get there. And, the first thing is we didn't have a quorum in the House or in the Congress that day. So they should have sent it all back to the state. That was their first mistake. Okay. And then this was all pre-thought out that the January 6th thing, they had almost 300 guys that they know of that were there. And I was there. I'm telling you, there was 1,500 of them there. I guarantee you. And these people that stood around and made sure nobody got hurt, they're complicit too, because they're not coming forward now. But the deal is I've got a good, as good as you can have appeal for the whole thing. There's 6 different keystones that my lawyers put in there that we made them rule on in the case during the trial. And they were constitutional rights that were taken away from us. And then there's a bunch of things they do inside of their paperwork. The minute that you fight it, they give you a point, 10 points on a scale, and that goes towards your prosecution and your your sentencing. And they don't tell you none of that till after it's all done. Okay, so if you make them, my lawyer told me, he said they're going to hate you because you're going to make them work. Okay, that's how bad it is. And it's just we need to clean house and start over is all I can tell you, because look what's happened in the Senate right now with all this stuff going through. And then you guys opened me up to this vaccine deal. While I was in prison, I had a dog, and my buddy took care of my dog, and she had a little bit of cancer, and I was treating it. And I got it into remission with some fenbendazole and some other things, and I got out, and he had no choice. He had taken her to the vet, and the vet would not treat her without giving her a shot because they didn't know if she had a shot or not. And as soon as they gave her a shot, she blew up. It went out of control. Open wound. So anyway, I got it to where it was looking good and everything else. And then one night she just passed, and I'm telling you, I got another one now that I've taken off the street. And I'm taking dogs off the street. I'm not going to go down into a brick and mortar place where they can get the human greed factor in between me and that dog. So I've got another one now, and I had to have her fixed because she wanted to make puppies. And so I had her fixed, and it was when the COVID was going on, the same veterinarians had people standing around in front of it with masks on and just going the total liberal edge of it. And then I wouldn't even go down there. And now that it's all said and done, she actually did it on an off day for her, so we could get it done. And she, all she did was, it was like $215 to have her fixed with everything. And it's just amazing how the same business is doing it out the back door against what you guys were talking about. They're making you the mRNA vaccines and things are all, they're going to do it to all of them. Like you said, we're lucky if we don't have it in us already, and I've never taken a shot. You know what I mean? So anyway, the 2020 election, you guys are right. It's out there. It's been out there. I've seen it forever. I didn't go to DC because I thought that he had won. You know what I mean? I knew he didn't win. I mean, it was just obvious. I'm watching my mouth there, Marlon. I'm telling you, it's rough. But anyway, I just want to tell you guys, keep pushing. These guys, they're going to show up. Of this, I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime, though. I mean, and it doesn't matter anyway. If we don't change anybody, if the same bureaucrats are between us and the truth, then what difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? You're talking about the people not wanting to vote. Well, I can attest to the fact that you can do all you can do, get off your couch and go see it for yourself and try to cause something, not cause anything, but at least state the fact that, hey, when we have standing, we are the people of the United States. And when you don't have a quorum on the floor on the election day, which you're supposed to, and you guys run through that and everybody just, oh, it's okay, and lets it happen. And then we got the new guy that Trump just put, what's his name, from Oklahoma or wherever. They got him up there, and he acts like that we did it. Okay, I don't know how it works up there, but if you're in that building, you got to know what's going on. I mean, especially after that dog and pony show that they put on up there. We were having a tailgate party, and they started shooting shit at us. So some of us ain't gonna run. That's all I can tell you. And these people are we can't keep doing it with the same people we got. We can't vote our way out of there. So we've got to get somebody to put the big boy pants on and make these, round them up in Fulton County, put them all in jail. Round them up in Arizona and put them all in jail. They put me in jail, and I didn't do a damn thing. I was just there asking questions and witnessing stupidity. Anyway, I'm going to land right there before my blood pressure goes out of sight.
Well, thanks, brother. Well, listen, I know you said something about holding your tongue, and I appreciate that, Russell. Look, we know you, we know your frustration, and it just adds in that man, how much more are we going to take? I think that was more of the thing that came out of that conversation is how much more is America going to take until they get uncomfortable enough to be able to stand up and go fight inside of their county. That's when it's going to be, impactful enough, right? But you also got to have people with you. If you're standing there by yourself, you're going to get your head lopped off. Depends. Right. You got to do the.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir there, Marlon. I've been called everything. I've been I mean, I remember walking into restaurants and people looked at me like I was crazy because I didn't have a mask on. You know what I mean? It was just like, really? Are you guys going to play all these games with all these rules that they have? None of them. They're just rules. They're not laws. There's nothing that you guys got that's worth anything. And then you tell us that what we're telling you, our truth, is not worth anything. Okay, and then we're gonna go back. The bad thing is, and then we go back and we go try to go through the paperwork. I'm going through the same thing right now, fighting for my Social Security. The same thing. It's we got DEI running our government between us and them, so they make it harder. They just, I mean, I think it's an intentional, stirred in piece to it. They make it harder, you know. And then, like you said, we sit on our ass at home, and nobody goes and shows up at meetings, and nobody does anything. Well, that, you know, we're talking about it. You got to get loud somewhere else. Not you don't have to get loud either. You just have to show up and make. These people are scared of us when we get in the same room with them, and all we're there is to show our side of it. I mean, you wouldn't believe the tension I feel sometimes when I walk in a room with a bunch of people that are from this county that are been involved in this good old boys network forever, and I'm somebody that moved here, you know, in 2006. My parents were from here, so I'm an original, you know, blood area of from here. And these people are here. They're just lawyers. I mean, that's the first thing we need to do. We need to get rid of about half the lawyers, at least, you know. And then the thing is, with the lawyers, you got to, when you're polluting the law like they are, it doesn't matter lawyer or not. I mean, you know, it's, what do? It's like I said before, you don't feel like you even need to vote because of the fact that they're going to screw it all up before it ever gets near the capital of the state. So anyway, I'm gone. I got to go to work.
Yeah. All right, Russell. Yeah, good. Hey, thanks for showing the frustration this morning. It's all good. We feel with you. So good to see you.
Hey, we'll get to the end of this deal one of these days.
Hey, all they got to do is show up. They tell me they're going to be in Washington. I'll show up. All they got to do is come up. They'll spit it out. All they got to do is show up. Hey, let's go. Let's go to Joe, and then we'll go to you, Herb. Oh,
I did show up.
no, I know, but what I mean is that we got to show them example, and you know, give them the opportunity, and you know, they should be the first ones to shut their mouth if they don't show up. Thanks, Russell. Hey, Joe, thanks for being patient, man. How you doing? And we'll go to you, Herb, and to Julie and Truth. I got to wait, man. I'll be right.
Well,
No problem.
I'm doing good. Although I think this particular broadcast to YouTube will probably get heavily flagged with a strike and all that. If not, by the time I'm done talking, it will. I wouldn't do to any of my pets what I wouldn't do to my own family, which includes vaccines of any kind. In my childhood, we never had food designed for dogs with allergies. In my childhood, I had asthma and allergies after being vaccinated. So I would say that, like the medical industry, vaccines are a pipeline to dependency on veterinarians in the same way that vaccines are a pipeline to dependency on allopathic medicine for life. So uh, also thinking along the lines of, I'm careful with the food that I eat to make sure there's no toxins in it. And I have to wonder how healthy is the food that animals get. So we're probably going to eventually come up with uh, our own version of animal foods, just to make sure our cats are as healthy as possible. You know, the same things that happen to animals happen to our children, including death. I heard one example. I got a shot, blew up, and suddenly died. That sounds a lot like SIDS. SIDS is caused by vaccines. So is autism. So is so many health issues. Now, in my family, our health issues are greatly improving because we're detoxing from toxins, predominantly with lead, chelation for lead. And the end result is I have a better wife now than I've had ever. The instability is much better, but there's still other health issues. So after she takes her last dose of calcium disodium EDTA, we're going to move on to L-malic acid, and my take on health issues. It's not what medication should I take. How have I been poisoned? Uh, and my wife was born in 81, which means she had a lot more shots than me, which easily explains her scoliosis, osteopenia, a thyroid issue, and POTS-like symptoms. So in theory, if the toxin is aluminum, when it clears, the body's going to heal. And transdermal chelation with L-malic acid to the neck affects the thyroid, the brain, and the vagus nerve. And if it's not L-malic acid or aluminum, it could be mercury, or also known as thimerosal. And both health groups lie to us persistently about, oh, it doesn't stay in the body. Well, if that's true, when I chelated with L-malic acid in November, why did my deltoids hurt from shots 40 years ago? We've been persistently poisoned on so many different fronts, and I'm hoping to have another video space up soon with the subject of silent weapons for quiet wars. And maybe we should stop allowing ourselves and our pets from being attacked, because that's truly what it is. We're being attacked. In the wild, the vaccines, why did we suddenly have wasting disease in deers? It seems odd, like a new disease, or maybe a new vaccine. And then I theorized maybe they were testing the self-amplifying mRNA on these wild creatures to find out what would happen. That's all. Just why don't we get to nature, get to nature solutions, watch for the toxins, clear them when we need to, and stop trusting these serial killers in white coats. And I'll drop the mic there.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Just if you are listening to that, just always make sure you guys do your research. It's not like we have these stuff readily available, and you may have taking medications that could be mixing with that. That is not good. So just be careful. Thanks a lot. Hi, Herb. How are you today?
Yeah, just doing, good here in Sweden. I think it's interesting topic, to hear from you, the US people, as always. Yeah, just thinking about, when we go back to pets and vaccination, because I have a cat also. I think it's quite, interesting since, of course, when you buy the cat, it's vaccinated, yada, yada, it has, the family tree. But, my cat actually, got into an incident. So, his back legs didn't work anymore. Of course, I turn into panic mode since that's how human beings work. So I drive him to the bed and, panic mode and everything. So they x-rayed him and, said, well, his back spine is, dislocated, so to speak. We have to keep him here. So, the days just went on. And, then they just said, well, we're sorry, we're too afraid to, do a surgery because it's too complicated, so to speak. So he will not, be able to walk, correct way. But the funny part is when I looked at, the bill at the end. So he was there for, I don't know, 5 days, monitoring, monitoring. Sorry, I don't for my English, but it was just so absurd. Then I just noticed, vaccinated, but I didn't think about it, the bill was, for $6,000, dollars for what the fuck was. So, I don't trust, the white coats, as you said, the society. But, it's quite scary when you leave your, your cat to whatever vets or, then you just, you see and they said, well, he was, but, he managed to, heal himself. So he's 100%. But I think it's quite, disturbing, what I went through, or my cat, sorry. But, I didn't ask, what was the actual vaccination? No information, he just got vaccinated. So, yeah, but, this is in Sweden. So just wanted to fill in. Thanks.
Yeah, it's disturbing to see, and the question I have, the big question I have is why are they doing the mRNA now in your pets? What's the purpose behind that? What is that like? To bring down the population, to make you sad if something happens, like so that you have to pay higher bills at the vets because you're constantly bringing your dog or cat or your ferret or whatever in, and because of these shots? Like, what's the end game? Is it because they're not making money because people have wised up to the shots now? They're not taking them anymore. So now let's see if we can get you to pay the money through your pets. What is the reasoning? I mean, I would like to know what the reasoning is behind why your pets have to get vaccinated all of a sudden with the mRNA. So that's kind of interesting.
Very.
Yep.
Hey, Joe, you want to respond there?
Absolutely. Nicholas Boucher covered this topic. They want to infect you through your pets because it's a shedding. It's like the flu shot or
That is correct. That is correct.
or the shingles shot. The number one cause of shingles is the shingles vaccine. So now a dog is producing self-amplifying, meaning constantly replicating. It's licking you. It's delivering a payload. This is the spiritual side of the battle. Evil wants us defiled. Okay, so my take is no, you may not vaccinate any living creature in my place. Now, I lost 7 cats to a fire. I'm going to find the other 4 kittens. In about 2 months, we're going to move back into the building, and it'll be in place renovations. And on a happy note, the 2 surviving cats that were not in the fire found a girl cat. So now we're going to have a litter. So now all of these cats will be unvaccinated, and when they're 8 weeks old, they're going to be rehomed with people who care about their animals. And life goes on. But definitely self-amplifying mRNA in wildlife. Now you're eating food that's modified. And of course, we already talked about glyphosate. There are some foods you have to make yourself now to protect yourself. That's all.
Thank you, Joe. LB, did you want to answer quick before we go on? Too, because I knew you had your hand raised.
No, he pretty much answered it. Joe's spot on about that.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Hey, let's go to.
you have to remember too, you're talking pharma corporation that has taken over 80% of the veterinarians.
Well, didn't we see an example in the feed for the chickens a couple years? Didn't we see that where this corporate has gone in and manipulated that chicken feed? We all remember that, don't we? Go ahead, Skinny. How you doing, man? And we'll go to you, 10.
Morning, Merca. Doing dishes with the kiddo. First day off in 11 days, so I can go get needles stuck in my eyes. Joe
Ouch.
nailed it. Joe absolutely nailed it. These people have been calling me, emailing me, and sending me texts for 2 years about my cat. We need him in. He needs feline AIDS vaccine. He needs feline cancer vaccine. No, he's fine. He's out here killing mice and birds and eating very good food. And he's fine. He's gonna die an old man. He's turning 12 here any second. Speaking of the devil, here he comes. This is no different than them trying to figure out how to giving Berkeley all that money back in the day, trying to figure out how to get mRNA in our lettuce. If you guys recall, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, and I don't. You are finding people left and right, including one of my very good friends who has like trials dogs, for bird trials and whatnot. Those people were definitely took care of their animals. They had a vested interest, not only financially, but they spent a lot of time with those animals to train them, and they're hip to it now too. They are not. They're absolutely not. Some of these counties are still requiring rabies. And people are going down to the feed store and they're doing their research on which one to buy for their dog before they do it, and they're doing it at home themselves. So good for them. Yeah.
Just so you know, you can show your receipt if you go to Fleet Farm or what have you. On some accounts, people will just demand that you have a receipt that you did it. So even if you went and got the vaccination and didn't apply it, quote unquote, it's said that that's applicable and can be used as well. But it all depends. I'm pretty sure if you show up at the airport, they'll say, nah, that doesn't work. But I know that that is what some people are doing. Sorry, Skinny. Back over to you. I have ADHD, so
No,
as you can tell,
I'm
I just pop in.
yeah, you're good. My daughter's fixing the rollers on the dishwasher right now. Little mechanic. Got my hands full, guys. I don't know how my wife does this.
Oh my God, you're the best dad ever. My daughters are figuring out how to fix the dishwasher. Oh, Skinny, you just keep on getting better and better in my mind. You're just an all around trooper, let me tell you.
Well, it's there. She's the one doing it. You figured it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I want to say is, the best part about it, and everybody breaks my stones on why we don't curse in this space. You know what? Skinny said it's the only space that his kids can actually listen to. Now, isn't that glorious? Now, you know what? Everybody can break my stones all they want. Those kids are listening. I wonder how many other kids are listening. It's important to me.
A bunch. Madeline, do you remember these voices? You don't? I don't believe you. She hears them every morning.
I appreciate that, Skinny. Hey, we're gonna go to tinfoil, then we'll go to Joe. We'll get any last thoughts, and gonna wrap it up a little bit early. I'm gonna play a little hookies, okay?
Sorry about earlier. I had to step down for a team call. But no, we guys were talking about the pets and stuff too. I think also the reason they're going after them is now not just to infect us. Yeah, they're doing that too. But also too, animals like cats and dogs protect us on a spiritual level too. And what I mean by that, if you have cats, you ever seen cats look at something that you can't see moving around the house, like they're chasing a mouse or not or something, but you can't see the what they're after. Like you see them floating around the room and they're tracking it. Dogs same way. And from what I understand from my experience is that when they protect us spiritually, I'm trying to think of how to make sense of this here. Bear with me. Um, Basically, without those animals, you can have spiritual influences inside the home that may take you a certain way. Um, the animals help prevent that. They kind of guard the house on in their ways of doing things. Um, I've actually witnessed this the other day, helping a friend. I connected to them through FaceTime on my iPhone, and the moment the video connected, I could pick up something was in their home, and we tracked it down, and I could tell it was affecting my friend, and it was also affecting her dog too, because I could see it. And so I'm helping her battle that. But I think that's the reason the deep state goes after them, because they can affect us while at the same time take away one of our spiritual guardians, as in it's our pets. And I'll land there.
Well, tinfoil, I'm gonna give you a little out.
Oh, you're rugging, Marlon. Marlon, you're rugging.
Okay.
There you
Okay.
go. You
All
sound
right,
better
go ahead,
now.
Joe.
I was just thinking when there was a requirement for dogs to get vaccinated. Well, if we had a dog and I was required to vaccinate the dog, I would go to Tractor Supply and buy the vaccine and then inject them into a thigh of a chicken, uh, store-bought chicken already pre-cut and everything. And then I'd throw that thigh in the trash. And then I would say that I would show the receipts. And if they asked where I injected, I would say the thigh and leave it at that.
There you go.
And
Partial
and
truths matter as one truth. Absolutely. There you
and
go, Joe.
and then I'd move on. And if they questioned me, I'd say, "Really? Did I save money by doing it myself?" Yes. Okay then. And I'd leave it alone. And that would be that, because I know that there's no living mammal that benefits from the toxins in these vaccines. And I'm also kind of theorizing, if my life's being extended by removing toxins, I wonder how my pets would do. But it would be a very small dose, most likely. Anyway, I'll drop the mic there.
Thanks, Joe. And Tractor Supply, hey, I buy my ivermectin there for my horse every couple of weeks. So, and May, you kind of caught us at the end. May, you got something quick you want to splash us with, and then we got to get out. I got a little.
Yeah, I wanted to actually, good morning, everybody. Marlon, Gypsy, Jenny, all of you here. Truth wins. You're amazing. Your spaces with the Bible, I go back and listen to after a hard day, and it's just amazing. What I did want to tell you guys is if you could pray for my son this next week on the 16th and 17th, he's having diagnostic for checking for cancer again, just because he does it every year. We have 6 years of new life, and we're hoping for a seventh. And now 17th is when he goes to the blood doctor, finds out everything. So 16th and 17th, very important. The other thing is we have a kitten that was a miracle kitten. Her mother was never supposed to have babies. She had only one baby. We found her in the chicken coop. We adopted both of them for a while. Then the mama left again to the neighbors. And her name is Aurora. And I've always liked Aurora, the princess, but I've always mostly liked the aura around this kitten. She is a healer. Whenever my kids and I are sick, I had a terrible, terrible congestive cough. She came onto my chest and she just sat there. The next day, I had no congestion. She sat there purring. And it kind of like scared me at first when she was really little. And she stayed on me. She was probably about 2 months old. And she stayed on me. And the next day I was feeling very good. Every single time my kids are sick, she cuddles. She's 7 months old now. And you're talking about vaccines. She's up for vaccines, but I am going to be very, very clear with the vet. I want to see the insert. I want to see everything regarding it. And I want to make sure it's not mRNA because I am not forced to inject her. She's an inside cat. She will never be an outside cat. And so bottom line is take care of your pets, make sure what they're putting in them at all times. And you know what? You can even give your cats ivermectin. I don't know if you guys know that. You can actually put a little bit if they're sick or something happens where you feel like they're off. Ivermectin is a parasite thing. So they give it to children in Costa Rica, by the way, for lice, for preventing lice. They get a pill in the school on a weekly basis for preventing lice. So all of these things have been around the world. The US is the last one to wake up. And now that we're awake, we're taking all these things, guys. Hydroxychloroquine, that is an amazing thing. It's made for lupus, but it's more than for lupus, guys. It keeps you completely clean, blood, gut, everything. So I wanted to tell you real quick, the 17th is Q Day, but it's not only Q Day, it's the beginning of the trial of the biggest terrorist that we caught, which is Maduro. Maduro's trial starts March 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, May. And you are in our prayers. Your son's in our prayer, will be in our prayers, definitely.
Listen, hey, Miles, I'm sorry you caught us at the end. I wanted to give you a quick shout. So you want to say something? We'll go to you, Cassandra, get a couple spaces out. We got to go.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that knows me. Molly got hit by a copperhead the other night about 2 in the morning. I stayed up with her all night, talked to the vet in the morning. All they do is give it steroids and antibiotics, but I had some Benadryl. She's got a double chin. She got hit in the neck. Probably just a warning shot by an older copperhead because they don't release all the venom. But she's on the mend. It's kind of funny that, she's got all these tingling, all the nerves are like healing. and she's kind of shaking her head, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But Molly's going to be all right. Thanks.
Good to hear, Miles.
Oh, sorry about your puppy. Hope she gets better soon.
Okay, Cassandra.
This is fun. We're gonna shut this down with fun. I just pinned it on my profile. I threw it in the purple pill. Talking about pets today. This is awesome. And then they just came up with Aura. So I'm an entrepreneur through and through. So as my healing process of getting a dog, relinquishing no kids, no husband, I just created a pet naming oracle, and I put a wait list out, and it literally takes your pet's name if you have it already named. It takes your pet's name, or if you want to name your pet, it brings you through 3 different archetypal questions, and then it takes the Hebrew and number numerology of the 5-pointed star between the name, the phonetics, and the astrology, and it gives you your soul contract with your pet. It is beautiful. The way that it reads is such a incredible experience to see the deeper purpose between the innate nature of our names and how it embodies in our pet, and it phonetically reaches into our home. So I just wanted to throw that out there to close up this space. Get on the waiting list.
Interesting. Very interesting. Awesome. Maybe, hey, we can go to Gypsy real quick, and maybe she can get her space out that she's doing tonight, 7 p.m. East.
Hey, well, definitely want to invite everybody in. Marlon is going to be in tonight on the panel. Liberty Ladies Live at 7 Eastern. We're going to have Kimmy, Santino, Marlon, American Girl, Carmen, and Relentless, plus other friends. Hopefully you'll come by, and it's just chit chat politics as usual, and lots of laughs, and love to have y'all in. Thanks, Marlon.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Gypsy. Yup, we'll see you tonight. Take a picture. There's not too many spaces on tonight, so it'll be good stuff. Hey, I do want to appreciate everybody who came in today, and I definitely want to thank my co-host for taking up the slack for me. So Julie couldn't do without you.
Well, thank you for having me up again today. And it was another good space. We learned about the vaccinations for pets. That's an important thing, especially for your fur babies. We love them, and just as much as we would love our humans, So, I hope that this was some good information that people got out of that. And I just wanted to splash you really quick, Marlon, before I give my spiel with the sharing of the space. Last night, in Monroe Township, they had a huge crowd of people that were not happy about the AI data centers that are being pushed in those towns. So people are waking up, people are starting to assemble and get together, and it's nice to see. And also, I want to give a shout out to the people of Monroe Township that came forward and are fighting for their town, their county, so that, because they don't want that crap around. And so I just want everybody, make sure you get involved locally. That is important. Show up at your town council meetings, especially when there's things that are going to go on around your area that you are not happy with. And before I give the mic over to Truth, I just want to say, please go down to that purple bubble one more time for me, please, and share the space out. If you can also, please go over to Rumble and to the YouTube. We are live streaming over there, and just give it a thumbs up, American X Live, and I really appreciate that. See you guys tomorrow, and God bless America.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate it. Truth, man, how you doing? I hope you're typing away, but thanks for coming up and saving me.
Oh, yep, just in the background doing my thing. Like they're trying to say in all these things, no matter what we talk about in here, just keep it all in perspective. Don't sweat the small stuff, and remember, everything is small stuff. If you want to know the end to the story, this is the first movie we get to see where we know the end. God wins. The end. So put God first in your life. Makes a big difference, believe it or not. Anyway, other than that, thank you, Marlon, for doing this all the time, for letting people come up and talk and say what they got to say. And don't give up hope. Like I said, as angry and pissed off as our good old buddy Tinfoil got today. I feel your pain, Tin. And we got plenty of property out here, so come on out here, dude. Get the heck away from where you're at. Anyway, all right. Be safe, y'all. Love you.
Hey, Truth, really quick. I wanted to say something. I've been wanting to say that to you for a long time when you always say about don't sweat the small stuff. Do you know when my dad got diagnosed with his glioblastoma and he was going through his radiation stuff treatment? He used to say that to me all the time. He's like, I used to worry about everything, but I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. So thank you for always saying that, because that reminds me so much of my dad, and I miss him dearly. And so I love when you have to say that to me. Or to everybody, actually. But
Oh, you're very sweet, Julie, but I hope I'm not old enough to be your papa. I'm glad that it hits you.
no, you're not old enough.
No, hey, definitely not. Well, hey, Truth, I appreciate it. You said one word, hope. You know, and geez,
No, you're
Oh,
saying,
Marlon, you're rugged
liberty.
again.
Marlon, you're saying something
All right,
significant. I can hear it, but then you keep getting it out. So
Yeah,
try
all
to
right. All right. Well, listen, have a great rest of the day. God bless America.
We heard that.